Welcome to the finals of the Elestriad, where DistantCoder throws down against MBT, both of which are representing A-list in an epic championship showdown. This is a clash you do not want to miss. Both of these casters dominated the bracket, DistantCoder finishing 9-0 on the back of a handful of different threats like Penterror, has his 3 Viscerus, has a lot of really cool tools up his sleeve. MBT was no slouch though. He finished 8-1, only losing to DistantCoder, of course. So we've got ourselves a doozy here as these two casters are ready to throw down. I'm very excited about it. Show some love, hit that like button down below, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys are new for more awesome Elestrals content. I do want to make a note. I apologize it took us a little longer to get this video out. I've been very sick, so I had no voice for the last couple of days. But we're back. These two casters are going to break down their deck profiles, what they are bringing for this clash, and then they're throwing down in a best of 3 to find out who is going to ultimately become a Divine Rune in Elestrals. Yes, they will have their character made into an Elestrals card as a promo. It's going to be sick. This is a really big deal. I know both these casters really want to win. I'm super stoked. Before we dive into their deck profiles, I want to give a little bit of my thoughts here. I think one of the biggest takeaways here is that Coder does have those 3 Viscerus, so it's going to be interesting. Does he go Earth? Does he go Wind? Does he go kind of a mix of a couple different elements? And then MBT has used cards like P-Gust incredibly well this season, utilized Astrabit incredibly well, utilizing Wind and Thunder together has been kind of his core focus. I think Coder has a little bit more versatility than MBT does in terms of the decks that he can kind of approach this with. But I have a feeling that we might see pretty similar decks when all is said and done between these two casters, as there's been a handful of standout cards throughout the Elestriad that have dominated. I expect to see a lot of those. Your Astrabits, they're going to see some Sorlets today. We're going to see some Tsunamis. So understanding that, we may see some really cool counters to those cards. This is going to be exciting. DistantCoder's up first with his deck profile. Let's find out what he's bringing.
What's up, my Nimbugs? Your boy DistantCoder in the finals. We absolutely annihilated Johnny last week, and now we're going into the finals against MBT, which I'll be honest, as cool as it is that we're getting a Yugi Tuber finals, which I'm really happy about, I'm also really unhappy at the deck MBT has been piloting. He's still playing the Penterror Wind deck, which, frankly, I think is a very strong deck, and the reason why I'm very worried about it is because the Earth deck cannot play into it at all. You'll notice there are Wind cards on my field here. The reason why there are Wind cards here is I'm essentially forced to play the Penterror mirror against MBT. As much as I would want to play the Earth deck, the Penterror line is literally just something that the Earth deck is not equipped to beat. So unfortunately, the moment he sees Hydrake, if I'm playing Earth, I lose the game. So because of that, I have to opt to play this instead. So let's get into what I'm playing. You could be hype about it because, you know, going back to the roots, I did start representing Aeolus and the Wind Pantheon. I might as well close it out doing this as well, right? The deck is very, very standard, very, you know, well built. 3 Hydrake, 1 Twindra, 1 Penterror. This is like super standard. Like, frankly, I think playing 2 Twindra is just always incorrect. 3 Sorlet, 3 P-Gust. I considered playing less Sorlet because I know I'm into a Wind matchup, but this being a 5 attacker is like fine. It's really good. I did consider playing the Viscerus, but I chose not to play Vis just because I didn't want to have those extra Earth Spirits in my Spirit deck. I wanted to play as much Wind as I could just because this line is so expensive. I'm also playing 1 Exalter, 1 Aeolus, just to be able to cheese a little bit of extra burn damage at the end of some games from time to time. If you have the Aeolus, you can go like Aeolus for 4 or even Aeolus for 5 into like an empty board. Go Aeolus for 5, search Exalter, and then you go Exalter, Nexus 2 onto itself, burn for 2, Exalter, swing for 3 for 5 damage. And it puts up a lot of pressure. That's why I'm only playing the 1 though, because you really only want to see it in tandem with Aeolus, so you want to search it off Aeolus. But otherwise, I think it's, you know, pretty good in end games. Otherwise, I'm playing 3 Rabbit, 3 Elechick, and 1 copy of the Zeus. So I'm playing 1 Zeus, 1 Aeolus to search off the Elechick just as toolbox options. I think the Zeus could come up in a situation where we both have Penterror on the board. Zeus lets my Penterror beat over his Penterror and then clear it. And I'm the only one left with a Pent, so that's pretty good. I'm playing 3 Earthquake, 3 Tsunami, standard stuff, and then for the generic stuff, 2 Resting, 3 Ambrosia, 3 Shield, 2 PTA, 2 Gorgon's Gaze, and I'm also main decking 2 Pandora's Box because I know I'm playing into Wind, and because I know I'm playing into Wind, Pandora's is very strong because this stops the Pantera line. So if he crashes his Hydrake into my Hydrake or something like that, I let us go into Twindra, then he'll crash his Twindra into my Twindra, I'll go up to a Pantera and Pandora's box's Twindra, and then he doesn't get to a Pantera. Very, very strong. Then in terms of spirits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Wind Spirits. I'm playing 4 Thunder Spirits, 4 Earth Spirits, and 2 Water Spirits. I know it's a little weird to be playing 4 Earth Spirits with 3 Earthquake, but it's just because this card is so strong in this matchup. It's like a very strong response to a Hydrake, so I wanted to have the extra Earth Spirits for this, and that's why I didn't want to play Vis. Because if I played Vis, I felt like I'd need more Earth Spirits. Then I have to cut down on the Wind, because this is the absolute minimum I can play of the Water and the Thunder. So for that reason, that's why I'm playing this in terms of Spirits. I think the deck is very strong. I think in terms of technical play, I probably understand the mirror match better than MBT does, so I have a very, very strong feeling that I can probably play the mirror match better than he can, which gives me, you know, makes me feel pretty confident that I might be able to win this one. It is a little bit like sacky, a little bit luck dependent. Like you have to just draw the correct counter runes in at the correct time and stuff like that. And whoever draws the better counter runes is essentially most likely to win the match. But in general, I think that in terms of like technical play, when a matchup, like whenever, you know, our draws are like fairly even, I feel like I'll be able to outplay him. And for that reason, I feel fairly confident that I can win this game. In terms of side decking, I didn't really have much to side deck. I side decked a Vis, a Falocane, double Nectar, triple Islands of Aeolia. The reason why I sided triple Islands of Aeolia was just on the off chance that he chose to play a Voltempest Thunder deck over playing the Wind, just to like big brain me. So I figured I'd play the Aeolia in case he was playing Thunder. One Sharon's Obol, it's pretty nice in the mirror, but I never felt like I needed it. And then the extra Earth Spirit that I would side in should I side in the Viserys. I don't feel like I'm going to be using any of this, but I feel like, you know, just in case, it's probably fine to have a lot of these cards. But I just chose to main deck everything for Pantera Wind because I feel like that's what he's probably going to be playing. So for that reason, I'm feeling very confident. My main deck is very, very well tailored to beat Pantera. So hopefully he plays Pantera, and if he does, we're going to be in the driver's seat. We're probably going to take it. So let's go. It is finals time. Send it, my guy. Run it.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little surprised on DistantCoder's deck. He's going full Wind. He's pretty much got the Pantera strategy. He's got the Sorlets. He's got an Exaltair. He's obviously got the Thunder package, of course, with Astravid and Elechix. He's got an interesting rune lineup there. And then again, the big thing is we actually don't see the Viserys in his main deck, but he does have the Pandora's box in his main deck. He is rocking 3 Earthquakes, 2 Resting on Your Laurels, so plenty of removal there with the PTAs, with the Shield of Achilles. A lot of really cool stuff there. And again, that side deck is what features the Viserys. He's got the Helios Chariot Ride. I love the Falocane tech in the side deck. Some really cool stuff there. Not exactly what I was thinking he was going to bring. I have a feeling we may be in for a mirror match. Let's find out what MBT is bringing for this clash, the championship of the Elestriad.
Well, I think we all expected it was all going to come down to this. Me versus DistantCoder, the Yugi-Tuber closeout, and I aim to rectify the mistake I made in round 1 of letting him live. So, if you're unfamiliar, DistantCoder is basically an Elestrals god. He won the first paper tournament, and I've been playing the format for about 2 weeks. But 2 weeks of MBT time is like 30 years of Coder time, so I expect to be walking away with this one extremely easily. Believe me when I say I, more than anyone else, am aware that Coder is a fraud. And we're going to prove it with this list today. I am playing, this is gonna shock you, Pantera. Now, what I'm hoping is that Coder's going to get so excited about his own intellectual prowess that he's going to bring the deck that netted him the first win in the first Paper Elestrals tournament hosted in their Discord, which I'm sure you can find if you use a link in the description and you want to play these games on your own from a constructed standpoint. But that deck, Earth, is playing cards like Viserys, which actually line up very poorly against Pantera. So our win condition is going to be Coder thinking too highly of himself. Unsurprisingly, we're playing Pantera and Twindra. Real quick, I want to talk about Pantera. I hate this card. I like Twindra a lot, but I really don't like Pantera. It shows up in my hand. It costs 1 million. It dies to Earthquake. I just do not like it at all. But if Coder is playing either Earth, or I expect his backup deck to be functionally mine, just a Pantera mirror, both of those decks have 5 attack dudes, and I do have to walk into them. We got, of course, the Hydrakes. We're playing the Sorlets. We're playing the P-Gusts. You all know the refrain by now. We're playing 1 Exaltair for corner cases. We've got 3 copies of Astravid, 3 copies of Elechix, and, of course, our Divine Runes, 2 Aeolus, and 1 copy of Zeus. I'm taking Zeus out. This card does not do anything. especially versus Demeter. Oh, cool. My creatures win my combat, but yours win your combat. All right, for free agents, we've got 2 EQ, 3 Tsunami. I keep going back and forth on 2 and 3 of these. I feel like I don't want to play all 6. I want to play 5 of these total. It could be 3 EQ, 2 Tsunami, but it's a weird position where, like, I know Coder isn't going to be playing any water Elestrals, but he will misenchant them because he's good at the game. We've got 3 Ambrosia, 2 Nog, 2 PTA, 2 Gorgon's Gaze, 2 Shield of Achilles, 2 Laurels, and the fun of Sharon's Obol. I played this last time as well, and I really did like it. It's a great way to refill your hand, and I think regardless of what Coder brings, it's going to be kind of critical that we're just, like, way up on cards. The Spirit deck is not interesting. 2 Leviathan, 2 Terratlas, 6 Zaptor. Let's get the shiny Zaptor out in front, please. And of course 10 Lycoris. 3, 6, 9, 10. But the side deck is really where the magic happens. So this deck is kind of pre-boarded for the wind strategy, which means that in a scenario where Coder is in Earth, we can board into much more targeted options. So we've got Pandora's for if he's on Wind. I think this is okay against, like, Aeolus decks. But it does have applications versus Earth as well. We've got Obol to try and get up in the Wind Mirror. But outside of that, everything in here is for other strategies. I'm playing Sparkit. The reason I'm not on, like, the Thunder Nexus stuff main is it has kind of a tough matchup into decks that are playing Hydrake. So I'm not, you know, confident enough to be playing that out of the gate. If he's on the Earth deck, I do feel good about them. I also feel good about Jolten, because the Earth deck spends a lot of time waffling about Feloy Forest, and we can just play, like, an Island of Aeolia there. And I'm also playing a copy of Zeus because obviously the Spark hits get a lot better the more copies of Divine Runes you're playing. Zeus specifically, you know, being able to Nexus Thunder guys. And to facilitate, like, a more Thunder-heavy package, our sideboard also includes 3 copies of Zaptor. So I'm feeling really confident about this. I feel real confident in my own play, and I feel real confident in the deck I've constructed. The problem is that Coder is really, really good at Elestrals. But provided that his hubris is his undoing, I think we can pretty easily take this.
So it seems like I was right. The mirror match is definitely happening, but there's a few key differences between these two casters. MBT bringing things like Nectar of the Gods has a little bit less removal than Coder has. Coder's got the Pandora's Box. Very interesting stuff here. I think the key to this one is going to really be who's going to get the momentum early, who's going to draw into their counter runes to be able to keep their opponent at bay, who's going to be able to utilize their side deck the most effectively if we do get to a game 3. This is going to be an epic clash. I'm so excited. Let's not waste any time. Let's find out who's going to win the Elestriad. All right, here we go. Kicking things off, DistantCoder going to get started with an Elechick. Elechick is going to give him a great start to this one as he can search out any of his divines. He can go Aeolus, he can go Zeus. He is going to go Aeolus. That's going to allow him to reach for whatever he wants, and both these casters rocking the Hydrake to Pantera strategy. So this could be a game of who gets their Pantera out first, right? Who's able to have the counter runes to stop those? Who's going to draw that Earthquake that can remove that, right? So Coder in a good spot, but MBT is going to get a little extra resources here. He's going to be able to dig into his deck. He's going to be able to grab the Nectar of the Gods, 2 extra cards added to his hand. That's going to be pretty spicy. And, you know, he was running those 2 Nectars, so that's probably the best case scenario to get it this early. And an Astrabit's looking pretty clean here as well, because now he can look at the top 3 and he can snag one of those cards. So big card advantage here from MBT. If you're MBT, you got to be feeling good about this turn 1. Especially understand that Coder did not grab Zeus, he grabbed Aeolus. So you're in a situation where you're not going to have to be too scared of being attacked over. You obviously have a counter rune row. That's going to get set up. That'll protect your Astrabit. Now, if you're Coder, do you go Aeolus here and try to grab your Exaltair? No, he's going to throw down another Thunder Spirit, and it's going to be an Astrabit, but into attack position. That tells me he may have an Earthquake that he's looking to use, or he's fishing for one. He may have some way to hit over this Astrabit at this point. Otherwise, he probably would put yours in defense. So looks like we're gonna see a poison tipped arrow here coming off. That is going to make it so Astrabit cannot deal any damage this turn. Poison tipped arrow does drop your attack by 2. So because of that, it's going to make it so the Astrabit has 0 attack essentially, right? But there is the Earthquake. So we kind of saw that one coming. You wouldn't have put the rabbit into attack otherwise. So the Earthquake does come down. It's going to take care of the rabbit. Coder's off to a really good start here, and he's going to be able to attack for 1 and deal that 1 point of damage. So that's exactly what you're looking for. Rabbit cannot deal any damage, but it's going to cost 2 spirits for MBT. Let's do our first listen in.
Hydrake.
Hydrake is acceptable.
Combat.
Yep. They'll die. Yeah. Are you activating the effect of your Hydrake?
Yes, I am.
I'll Pandora's box it.
Ooh.
So please mill the top 2 cards of your deck. True. So you mill 2. Yeah.
Oh.
Let's go! Let's go!
That's okay. I'm going to be honest with you, Coder. I have not summoned Penterror this entire format.
That's fine. That is completely fine.
Go
How many
ahead.
cards do you have in hand?
5. I'm actually playing correctly, unlike you. Enjoy your 3rd card, big boy.
Yeah. 3 cards in hand, buddy.
What a huge play from DistantCoder, using the Pandora's box at the perfect time, shutting down the Hydrake and preventing it from going into Twindra, and then milling the Penterror to the Underworld is going to make it so Penterror is not going to see the field for MBT. He did make a comment there that he hasn't been able to get Penterror out all season long. It is worth noting that Coder has 15 spirit damage this season with Penterror, so he's actually done the opposite. He's put on a clinic with Penterror. And here comes a Pegas. The Sorlet did come out. It came out with a Water Spirit. Pegas comes down. It's going to pop a Gorgon's Gaze. That's a really good hit there. If you're MBT, this Sorlet is obviously misenchanted to get around Tsunami. But Coder, that was just such a huge Pandora's box play because you shut down a huge part of MBT's strategy. And it's crazy because you don't really see Pandora's box getting a ton of play right now, right? Like if you hopped on the Elestrals digital app right now and you tried to, play some games, you're probably not going to run into an entire Pandora's box at all. But in this format where you knew what your opponent's bringing, or in a situation where wind is very prevalent in the Elestriad, you're able to kind of do some really cool stuff there. And I actually think that Pandora's box probably could be used a little bit more. There's quite a bit of searching. It's just there's so many good counter runes. Pegas hits the field, pops an Aeolus, which is rough for MBT. Here comes the attack. Shield of Achilles going to bounce the Sorlet back to his hand, and that is going to prevent that Sorlet from doing a whole lot, and Pegas is just going to be sitting out here as a sitting little bird, unable to do a whole lot, can't hit over the other Pegas, and MBT has an opportunity to really make an impact here. He could re-enchant. He's got a second Pegas. He's doing the double gust. He's going to hit another rune in Coder's rune row. He's got to decide which one. This could be big because he has an opportunity here to clear that Pegas. Now, obviously, Coder has the Sorlet, so he can still respond, but not bad. He's going to hit another Pandora's box, so there's the second Pandora's box that Coder had, so MBT does go for it. Probably not the thing he wanted to go for. Pegas is going to go to attack position. It looks like he's looking to crash. He's going to Ambrosia. His final face down rune was Ambrosia. That's going to get him a little bit of life back and get him closer in this one. He should be able to crash the 2 Pegas, then hit directly with 1. I don't anticipate Coder responding to that, but maybe he's got something up his sleeve. Maybe he really wants to save his Pegas. Let's see what MBT's going to do. Does he have any runes that he's setting face down? He's not going to set any runes face down. If you're Coder, you got to be feeling that because now you're going to take 1 spirit of damage, but you can easily cast your Sorlet back out and get this momentum right back. Let's see what he's going to do. Drawing for the top of his deck. He's looking to decide what his play is going to be here. A lot of opportunities. It's going to be the Aeolus. He may be going with the Exaltair strategy. He has an opportunity to do a lot of damage. He could potentially do 4 spirits of damage this turn if he wanted to go all out with Exaltair. I don't know if he's going to quite do that. He may just go Hydrake to put some pressure on. He's going to pop that. He is going to go Exaltair. So he does grab the beautiful Artist Collection Exaltair from his deck. Here comes the Wind Spirit. He's going Exaltair. He can Nexus 2. He's going to do it. So he's going to go max damage here. So he's going to get 2 damage off from the Exaltair effect. And by destroying the Pegas, he's going to deal 2 more spirits of damage. So a big play here. That's going to put Coder down to just 5 spirits, but he does have quite a few on board, obviously. This is a big swing here and a really big play, and kind of what I was anticipating. I wasn't sure if he was going to make the extension, but I guess now is the time to do it with no back row, because you realize at this point, if you're Coder, he set no back row last turn. That means that he has to draw into back row or he's not going to have it. And if you have the counter runes to potentially stop him, you're in a great spot. So here's the Astrabbit. Do you Gorgon's Gaze this if you're Coder? He's not going to. I think there was an argument to be made there if you do have it, because you know MBT is fishing so hard right now for some counter runes. He's going to set one thing face down, but it's going to be very hard to stop this Exaltair, because Exaltair can burn right now, get that burn damage off. Let's listen in here.
Can't Sorlet with water.
Uh-huh.
Anything here?
No.
I'll go Exalter Effective Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Nexus from Aeolus to Sorlet and burn you for 2.
Ooh. That's cute.
That's
I get
2
it.
burn.
I understand.
2 burn. Are you going to take the burn?
Why don't you just worry about yourself here? I will Gorgons.
The Exalter?
That puts me to 3, yeah.
Sure. I'll go Sorlet effect to swap your rabbit to attack.
Yeah.
I'll use a Thunder to cast Ambrosia effect.
Ooh. Yep.
Put back double Wind and a Thunder.
Off the top of this is insane to me.
Combat, swing over the rabbit for 1 damage.
Yeah.
And then you're go.
Yeah, let's go next.
Let's go!
So Coder picks up that game with that Ambrosia at the end and Exalter putting on a lot of pressure. One thing I do want to note, though, is it seemed as though MBT did have a play there, and he kind of missed the window of opportunity. So if he had Gorgon's Gaze on the announcement of the Exalter Nexus, he could have prevented the Nexus from happening entirely, which would have made it so Sorlet would not have been properly enchanted to change the position of Astravet, which could have bought MBT another crucial turn. Ultimately doesn't end up mattering, and technically you have to declare the Gorgons before the Nexus takes place, so there's 2 windows of response time there. He chose to respond after the Nexus, which allowed the Sorlet in that case to ultimately be set up in a positive way, and I think we actually saw the Exalter swing for game, but it wouldn't have been able to because it was Gorgon's Gaze. So I think there was a little bit of kind of misunderstanding there at the end of that clash, but I think ultimately it probably wasn't going to matter. It seemed like Coder had pretty good handle on that one. So we're going to dive into a game 2 here where MBT is looking to come back. He knows that those Pandora's Box could be a big problem. Coder has a lot of potential side deck options. Those Visceras could create massive havoc in this one. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Let's dive into game 2. All right, here we go. MBT does have the opportunity to choose who goes first as he is down a game in this one. Looks like Coder's going to go for a mulligan here. He's going to spend 2 spirits to get a new hand. Always a feels bad man, you know? And it looks like MBT is going to match it. So it works out, I guess, that both these casters are going to start 2 spirits down to get a better hand. Totally get it. I personally always try to avoid mulligan. I always try. I get very stubborn about it. I'm like, I'll draw what I need on the next turn. It's a good idea to mulligan if you have a bad hand. Elechick comes down. He's going to be able to grab his Divine Rune, and then he is going to be able to set a couple cards face down. So he puts himself in a pretty good opening turn, very similar to Coder's first turn. Coder's got 2 Earth Spirits. He's going to Earthquake right away to get rid of the Elechick. I find that to be an interesting play. Oftentimes, you'll Earthquake when you are facing down something that you really need to get rid of. I guess Coder feels pretty confident that getting rid of that Elechick now is the best play. He's going to go Astravet. Astravet's going to give him really good opportunity to look at the top of his deck. He's going to grab some cards. He shows off his Pantera. I don't know if that's a joke. I don't think he's actually grabbing the Pantera. You don't have to show your look, by the way. You only have to show when you search. So that's pretty interesting there. It's interesting. Another thing to note is Astravet here, the damage dealing Astravet in attack position looks like it's going to get a chip off here. MBT's Astravet leads in damage on his team. 16 damage for MBT's Astravet based on the Elestriad website. Big shouts to the team this season who put that together, so you should check that out. Here comes the Aeolus. This is MBT's opportunity to throw down, but does Coder have another Pandora's Box? If he Pandora's Boxes this, oh my god, he does. So backbreaking. DistantCoder just basically piling it on. Pandora's Box could not be any more optimally timed. He shuts down Aeolus, basically makes it useless. Now Coder's got a mill too. He's going to lose a shield and a P-Gust. Now he gets to use Astravet's effect. That's huge. So big. Because, again, in that situation, it's so perfect too. Because you're trading essentially 2 spirits for 2 spirits, right? Like Aeolus is 2. Pandora's Box is 2. It's a very even trade there, and you're stopping him from getting that +1. So it's just crippling, especially when, you know, the strategy of Wind revolves so heavily around being able to utilize Pandora's Box. Alis hits the field for Coder. He's going to be able to grab whatever he wants after MBT had an Earthquake of his own last turn. This one's going very quickly as both these casters are cruising here down to 11 spirits. That Alis is going to get him a Sorlet, a perfect opportunity for him to expend to change the position of that Strabit and attack and try to knock it out here. Does MBT have a counter rune to answer? He does not. Wow. No counter rune from MBT. He's really had a hard time in this clash being able to utilize his counter runes. He's got another Alis. He's going to be able to enchant this one. Tell me there's another Pandora's box. I will lose my mind. There's no way he has both of them. He's going to disenchant the 2 for the search. Does he have it?
Okay, I promise I won't damage Step Gorgons your Hydrate.
You're going to attack deck Gorgons it, and I'm going to go, oh.
Well, then you don't lose it. What do you mean?
That's true.
Hi, Drake. Hi, Drake. How are you?
Wow.
That is fine. You can crash. That's fine.
We're gonna get the next one. That's what we do.
Ooh, the Twindra.
I will attempt to attack.
I will shield it.
Yeah. Pay
For
3.
Spirits. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
See, this play
put
isn't
that
even
back in
good.
your hand.
It puts the Twindra back in. Now I can use it later.
That is how that works, yeah.
And Coder with a huge response, Shield of Achilles to shut down the Twindra. MBT thought he might have had an opportunity there. The Hydrate came out, it did its thing, Twindra came out, and then Shield bounces it back. You almost need to have those Piga set up early to kind of remove some of those counter runes, or you gotta have, Helios Chariot Ride to make sure you can safely do that. Just very tough. MBT tries to get the engine moving, but it's not going to be the little train that could in this one. The Tsunami gets popped. Coder's going to respond with an Ambrosia, able to search or regen a few spirits here. A little surprised the MBT didn't go for the Tsunami there because you could have stopped, I guess, 2 attacks instead of 1. Maybe he has something else up his sleeve there, but Ambrosia's going to regen those spirits. 7 spirits, 2-5. Here comes the 2 attacks. He's going to take the 2 spirits. So I do feel like, maybe it's an even exchange because the Sorla could have just changed back. So I guess it's irrelevant whether he used the Tsunami or not. Never mind. I stand corrected there. But MBT reaching. He's got 3 spirits left. Still a chance to come back on this. Sorla could be the key he needs. It has to be misenchanted with Thunder, which tells me he maybe doesn't have a Wind, or maybe he's saving it for something else, which means that Sorlet on the other side could change its position. MBT forced to try to target down that Pigas, but there's a Gorgon's Gaze waiting for him. Coder has all the counter runes he needs to be able to stop MBT in every situation, it seems. This Gorgon's Gaze is going to prevent that attack. And now, if you're Coder, you have all the free reign here to just enchant your P-Gust, pop a rune, use Sorlet's effect if you want to. He's actually going to go for another cast. It's going to be a Hydrake. Oh, that's going to make things even harder for MBT. If he does not have a Tsunami here, this could get really bad really fast. Let's listen in.
Okay, I'll Hydrake into the Sorlet.
I'm going to go Obel. We'll pay with the Aeolus.
That's completely fine, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so Hydrake dies, you draw 1, and my Hydrake is going to summon a Twindra. Is that okay?
Yep.
Sick. And I will, I guess, proper enchant this thing. I'll go Twindra into Sorlet.
Okay, so just checking here. Nothing on your board has a water under it.
It does not. You have
Okay.
Tsunami, bro.
That's fine.
Okay, so you take 1 damage and my Twindra dies.
Yep,
And you have 1 spirit left, yeah?
that's correct.
P-Gust in.
Yeah, you got it.
Let's go!
Oh my god.
Oh wait, I knew that was the
Yeah, you
rest
knew
thing.
it was the
I just
Laurels.
used
Yeah,
something
yeah,
up here.
And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. DistantCoder is your Elestriad champion with a dominant 2-0 win over MBT. He's going to sweep the entire competition, doesn't drop a game the entire tournament, and ends up the victor. Big shout outs to MBT for throwing down and getting this far. Made a great showing. And congratulations to all of the Elestriad participants. We saw some great growth. We saw some awesome content creators and casters come together to make this event happen. Big shout out to our team behind the scenes who put this all together. They did all the editing, all the graphics, everything like that. We took it all in-house to make it something really special. So big shout outs to everyone all around. I'm really proud of the team and really stoked that all these awesome creators were so awesome with their time and willing to, you know, kind of donate it to creating something really cool here with Elestrals and the Elestriad. So I'll be getting DistantCoder all set up with his Divine Rune soon, and we'll have an update for that. But I have to tell you guys, the Elestriad isn't quite over just yet. DistantCoder and I are going to be throwing down for one final best of 3 clash. I am going to pretty much use any card I want, I think, and he gets to use his cards from the Elestriad. We're going to have some fun with that. It'll be just kind of a fun casual clash on the channel coming out next week. Again, I haven't had a chance to record it or do any of that because I've been sick, so look for it in about a week from now. But that'll be just kind of a fun, casual game to kind of wrap up the Elestriad, put a little bow on it, and be done with it for this season. One of the biggest things I would like to hear from you guys, though, is your feedback on the Elestriad. What could we do better? What did you really like? What didn't you like? What kind of content creators would you like to see in the future? All of that information is incredibly valuable to us, so please take a moment and leave a comment down below what you're thinking. I'd love to hear your feedback so we can make it better next time. Congratulations again to DistantCoder, and thank you to everyone who participated in the Elestriad this season. That's going to be it for me, guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.